I am the professional pro se. This lesson is setting expectations. This course is designed to inspire you to use AI as your logical assistant in legal matters, how to avoid pitfalls and distractions when using AI, help you to develop and maintain your bearing, discipline, and tact. Use AI to be more strategic when interacting in legal situations. How to be less of a survivor and operating in a space of being more knowledgeable. How to be a better litigator, and how to achieve your legal remedies. As a disclaimer, this course is not designed to generate or create documents for you, give you silver bullet remedies, get you out of any legal trouble, get revenge on people or government agents, inspire or give you instructions on how to defeat allegations against you, prove or support fringe legal or pseudo-legal theories, or give you legal advice.
Please be aware that this class is on our free tier. After you complete all of the classes on this tier, you will be eligible to advance to our higher tiered classes.
At the end of this class, you are expected to be able to develop the correct expectations for using AI for your situation, develop questions, queries, and prompts that will help you to understand the landscape of the legal field and profession, to include rules, statutes, ordinances, laws, and codes, discover the true materials and resources of the court, and discover the goals and liabilities of all participants in legal actions. Venue is where legal actions take place. It answers and settles challenges of why this court and not that court, or why a tribunal and not an arbitration. This will help you to understand why your venue is arranged in a way that you may not expect, such as a simple conference room with 2 chairs instead of a judge's bench, or the presence of a 6-man, 9-man, or 12-man jury, or an open gallery of spectators or other litigants on the docket. When learning about the venue, it is also important to learn the venue's limits of authority in case this is helpful to achieve your remedy. In case the matter doesn't move to your favor, learning when the venue must change and how to transfer the matter out of the venue you are in to another venue for completion will be important. The first resource of the courts are rules. You will need to accomplish each and every act using the rules of the venue. Why do we care about the rules? The reason is for accountability. Everyone must be held accountable according to what governs them. In the court, this is the court's rules. To citizens and foreigners, it is the laws of the country. The reasons for the court's rules is not about governing you, it is about governing the court's employees. If they don't follow the rules, they can be held accountable for breaking the rules. Then we go back to the rules to follow the instructions on how to go about holding them accountable. Judicial review is one of the ways to hold lower courts or their employees accountable. The question is, how to discover what office or agency holds the duty of judicial review for the problem venue. Finally, discovering if transcripts are available from the hearing may be necessary. While this may yield an unwieldy amount of paper to read through, AI is able to help you discover most of these details in your quest to achieving your remedy in your situation. All of this information is available publicly, but many people are not aware of where to go to get this kind of information. And most whom are given the information simply do not read it because it appears to be unrelated to what they are trying to accomplish, so they skip it. By going through these checkpoints and considering these points, you can set better expectations when it comes to the venue you are in. One of the most important resources of the courts is time. It is extremely important to understand works both ways, for you or against you. Time gives you the opportunity to respond without being rushed, being pulled away from critical and crucial tasks of life, and escalating catastrophic situations appropriately for faster than normal responses. As an example of how time works both ways, it should be remembered that time can be either wasted or abused by either side of litigation. Distractions, chasing white rabbits, and going down into unrelated rabbit holes are great examples of how easily you can find yourself caught in a trap of wasting time, started either by you or your opposition. A great example of wasting time using one of these methods is intentional mischaracterizations to things you have said either in writing or in open court orally. In case something happens beyond your control or with an acceptable excuse, time can be reclaimed to accomplish the tasks you would have been able to accomplish if the same deadlines did not pass already. This extends to the acceptance of certain declarations and positions to being from the beginning of the act or the case or the allegation. To assist in your efforts to discover the details that work to your favor, it is important to remember that nothing happens immediately. Even if you were being threatened with incarceration, there should have been several steps that should have happened before actually being taken into custody. The venue's rules govern this point, as well as all other matters where time or deadlines are involved. Within the written rules, time constraints are mixed within, but are not written in a way that makes those details prominent, where people are able to extract the information without being familiar with how time constraints are written in the rules. No court can operate without litigants. Litigants are the opposing sides that are trying to get a legal matter settled. Each legal matter will vary, but will typically have plaintiffs, defendants, petitioners, respondents, appellants, and appellees. Multiple persons who share the same designation will typically have a co prefix to the word, and that prefix can apply to any of these litigants. When you refer to these persons, it will be important that you identify them in their proper capacity. Once this is established, you will be more free to use whatever their names are, and AI should also remember that person's position. Here, I have specified the use of the word person because that is what courts and tribunals recognize. Any other designation will only be recognized as colloquialisms and not legal nomenclatures, so as not to take on legal meanings, as they will be typically private identifiers. The most important thing to remember is that when you identify each litigant, stay faithful to who is what. That way you will be able to help AI to comprehend your situation and its context in the effort to crafting a solution for you. Whether you are the one bringing the case or the one defending yourself from allegations, you will be seeking what is called a remedy. Each side of the confrontation will be simultaneously seeking their own remedy from the court or tribunal. What you will need to discover is what remedies are available to the specific jurisdiction. A jurisdiction is the territory and subject matter that the specific court or tribunal are authorized to hear and make decisions on. What remedies are available to the venue? Sometimes jurisdictions are further broken down into separate venues. Venues may be divisions or parts of the court. What remedies are available to the agency? For purposes of this class, an agency may be one of the litigants or the actual venue. The remedy of the agency in this class would therefore refer to the agency being the venue. This typically points to the subject matter that the agency has the authority to hear, such as probate court hearing estate settlement matters only, and landlord-tenant court being heard in special civil court only, and tax court not being able to incarcerate litigants for not reporting their taxes. Now, we move on to your eligibility for remedies. What are the factors that make you eligible for the remedy you are seeking? Is it income? Is it that you proved your case? Is it that the other side was found to have damaged you? Is it that you proved that you were actually damaged? The most important question for you is, does that remedy restore you? If not, what is missing? Is the available remedy a satisfactory replacement? And finally, how is the remedy awarded? What is the process to get your award? AI is able to help you figure these things out and how to develop a plan in achieving it. As a pro se, or in propria persona, also known as pro per or sui juris litigant, you will need to learn what the goal of the attorney is on both sides of the case. What rules govern attorneys when they represent others? It is important to remember that judges used to be attorneys, even clerks can be attorneys, or at least law school graduates or bar members. This is important because off-the-clock familiarities may be at work outside the courtroom. That familiarity may not be direct, but it still may be influential in some way. Finally, when they are representing someone outside of themselves, attorneys will rarely be liable to damages because what they are doing is understood and accepted as being the exclusive will of their clients. This exclusivity applies even against their own clients. Continued acts that demonstrate bad faith or unfair treatment in multiple interactions will be picked up by AI, where you can develop a plan to respond appropriately. Finally, before you can effectively use AI in your efforts to develop a plan and strategy in responding to or starting legal actions, you must be truthful with yourself about you first. When I went to get my business degree, I had a class that discussed what is called a SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This analysis requires that you be honest with yourself to write down your effort's strengths or positives or benefits of the effort, points, or qualities that you have that could use or desperately need work and investment opportunities that may be created or realized either due to the effort and its effects, or uncovered as a result of the effort or its residual effects, and threats to the effort's birth, life, or continuity. Threats can also apply to minimize or eliminate strengths, create, increase, or enhance weaknesses, and block or eliminate opportunities in the same strokes. In order to be effective and successful, you must be settled with the brutally binary choice to adapt or die. Proverbially, of course, because the truth is, as pro se or in propria persona or sui juris, you are your only savior. No one will come to save or assist you. Now to the meat and potatoes. AI is a large language model that mimics intelligence by being able to demonstrate comprehension of how language is used and how to respond in kind and within context. AI is not actually intelligence in the sense that people understand human intelligence, which involves conscious values like creativity and talent, and subconscious values such as self-preservation, a sense of belonging, and ego. AI processes queries and statements and can fact-check them based on previously published works against your use of language. AI can demonstrate reason and aggregate information to discover patterns and trends. Based on this point alone, AI learns from you with each interaction. As you add to the total aggregate, the AI can process, and you direct the AI's focus on what to figure out to craft an answer. The focus itself adds intrinsic boundaries and rules that AI will need to remember when it crafts the same answer. AI cannot think towards its own ends. AI cannot do for itself. AI cannot want for itself. AI, for the purposes of this class, is designed to gather all of the relevant resources you will need from the open internet. Filter those results into relevant comparison points to your query or statement, and assemble that combined information into a cohesive argument or set of arguments that all work to your favor to prove your case in court, beyond any doubts that may linger. AI is the natural evolution of the search bar or website. You should expect AI to respond to you alone. You should expect AI to be unbiased of itself, notwithstanding the resources it aggregates. As an example of this, if AI grabs of most of its aggregate efforts, mostly biased information, it will reflect that same bias in its responses until it gets counter information, boundaries, or facts that prove otherwise. You should expect AI to be factual or fact-based in its responses. While its interactions with you are feeding AI with valuable information, the open internet is vastly larger as a resource and is easily overwhelming, which its exponential daily growth requires filters. You should not expect AI to pry, to uncover things you have not said or expressed. You should not expect AI to ask you investigatory questions. You should not expect AI to show signs of or demonstrate bias, prejudice, or preference of its own making. AI helps you narrow down possible responses to a situation you find yourself involved to formulate a plan that works for you. This ends our Setting Expectations class. I hope this class inspired you, but this is not the end of the course. Watch my other classes where you can get more advanced lessons and move up from being mercy dependent to a confident litigator. At those advanced levels, this lesson, as well as all others on this tier, will be heavily referenced. Take time to ponder on the points brought forward and enjoy your day.